So this is my thinking, okay? Because as a tech girl, cybersecurity, you want to, make sure that like we have the CIA, not the government CIA, but the tech CIA. And the tech CIA is just making sure with cybersecurity that you have confidentiality, there's an integrity to the system and the data, and it's accessible. Mm-hmm. Sounds like not only is data not going to be accessible to us anymore as far as the police stuff, but the integrity of the accuracy of data is going to be in question, especially now that Elon has gone into all of our stuff and has access to records with interns and things like that and all this stuff. So my question is, this is one of the worst nightmares I have ever been a part of. And I'm wondering, aren't we in a situation where we have a backup that we can just, okay, the government is backed up on a hard drive somewhere, and we can just plug it back up once this idiot is out of the office in 4 years and just get it back running up like it was?
It's unlikely, because with him telling the DOJ to delete this database, I'm sure that would include any backups. Now, the one saving grace is I'm hoping that there were activists who were possible. This database was public, so it's public facing. So that meant anybody in the public could see it. So I'm hoping that activists, or even that one website, the Wayback Machine that keeps track of websites that have been deleted, I'm hoping that they have a backup of the information. But to your point, anything that's not like officially kept and managed by government is going to be kind of suspect as far as like if the information is accurate. So it looks like we'll probably be in a situation where we will probably largely have to start over. But to your point, also, we're waiting for Trump to not be in office to restart this project of making sure that bad cops don't hop from county to county. But what happens all these 4 years that he's in office? These bad cops are going to be jumping from county to county after they have, been.
And not to mention, he also promised people, don't worry about it. You're not going to have to vote no more. And he's trying to set himself up as king of this country, which I think I think you were telling me before, like a lot of these white corporate folks see themselves as king. Mm-hmm. So I don't think they want that idiot being king. But not only I think he's following through when he says you won't have to vote again with this SAVE Act. Like, this is part going to that. Can you explain to the people what this SAVE Act? It sounds like it's something good, like Superman gonna come and save us. No, that ain't gonna happen. Ain't nobody coming to save us.
It's definitely not anything good. In fact, I would summarize the SAVE Act as mostly just saving white supremacy and patriarchy, because the SAVE Act is a bill that's actually passed through the House already. It passed in 2024. In the House of Representatives. And it's a bill that's being moved by Republicans. It's getting revived again. But essentially what it does is it removes any sort of automatic voter registration processes. So like right now, for example, in the state of Georgia and in many states, if you go and get a driver's license, they will automatically register you to vote. So there's a lot of like automatic voter registration that happens. So it gets rid of any type of automatic voter registration. And what it says is that if you want to vote or change your address or anything with voting, you have to show up in person at like the Secretary of State's office. You have to show up in person and present documents that prove that you are a U.S. citizen. And here's where it gets tricky. So in order to prove that you're a U.S. citizen, you would have to have your current ID match what is on your birth certificate. So
you're saying that is the qualification of proof of citizenship, is having an ID match your birth certificate?
Certain types of IDs. And what's even trickier, so like if you have a passport, then fine. You can use that to prove that you're a U.S. citizen. Mm-hmm. But in order to, what you would not be able to do the way that we currently have things is you can just use your regular state issued driver's license to be able to register to vote. If the SAVE Act passes, you would not be able to use that. You would have to take your state ID or some type of picture ID that's been issued by the government and then bring your birth certificate as well to show that you were born in the U.S.
So now, mind you, you're saying a birth certificate. Mm-hmm. I need y'all to hear me on this. We're talking about you're going to have to bring your birth certificate and your ID. And you know who that's going to mess up? Not just trans people, not just me, and the fact that they won't let me change the name, they won't let me change the gender marker or the name on my birth certificate. So that will be different. than the name and the gender marker on my ID. So that could, if the SAVE Act passes, that could give me trouble when it comes to voting. But it ain't just me and trans people. Who else does it hurt?
It's most so, and this is the thing that I really want to point out, like to your point and drive home. What they're saying is that it has to be the same name. So there are roughly 69 million married women in the country. It's largely going to affect married women because they generally, by tradition, will take their husband's name. And so that's not going to be the same as what was on their original birth certificate. It also, I just know like in the Black community, a lot of times the government will get our names wrong. My middle name is Sean Bay. The Social Security is the birth certificate. Is different.
Didn't they spell Beyonce name wrong on the? Did they say Beyonce or something?
You are right. Yes, they did. They did. And so, yeah, like it is really just something that is going to affect a lot of folks. And so some people are saying, well, you just get a passport. And it's like, well, passport is $200, not to mention we're already dealing with inflation. So,
and not to mention, that's another thing that might be a roadblock for me because my passport expires in October.
Right.
And right now they're saying basically they not giving trans people passports. You better hold on to the one you got and hope it don't expire during Trump's presidency, because I've heard so many stories of people either turning in their passports and not being able to get one back. Hunter Schafer just went to the public and basically said that they turned her passport back to mail. Mm-hmm. And what they don't understand is when you're an international star like Hunter or myself, and we're traveling a lot, you're now putting us in danger when I have to show a passport in another country that reveals a different gender. What it comes down to for me with this, and this is why I'm so upset about all of this, but it is what it is because I'm an OG girl. But what it is y'all keep trying to go with this narrative thinking that trans women are out here tricking y'all, that we have any investment in value in deceiving the world. The only thing we want to do is be able to leave our houses, go to our jobs, and get home safely without being harassed, killed, or otherwise. That's what we want. But they think that we're doing this as a deception thing. So what has been just so annoying for me is that they want me to wear a sign on my forehead that says trans woman walking, trans, so that everybody can choose to treat me like shit from the door.
Right. It's like making trans folks wear a scarlet letter.
That's what they want us to do, so that it hopefully discourages you to not want to, to step out into everyday public life. That's what I think they're trying to do, is to make us scared and discourage us from being out in public. But guess what, baby? That's never going to work. Trans people are never going anywhere. We're always going to be here. So just know that I've been, and my ancestors have been, on the side of the law where our lives were considered to be illegal or criminalized. This ain't my first time. So let's go. It is what it's going to be. And we're just going to have to fight for our rights. Like literally, we're going to have to fight for our rights.
Yeah, and the way that it looks like us fighting against what this administration is trying to do is going to look very different than how it has in the past. Already you see that folks have really taken to using their wallet to vote in the way of the boycotting that is going on with Target and all the anti-DEI initiative stuff. It's like people are finding creative ways to say, we are not going to take this, and this is not what we want to see in the country. So everybody needs to gear up and get ready.
But I think one of our biggest fights, to be honest, is going to be with ourselves and convenience.
Absolutely.
Because I think that capitalism is all about selling us convenience and selling us comfort. And folks are going to have to get uncomfortable and be inconvenienced.
And that's a fight that we have. That's something that we've experienced before, because when you look at like the Montgomery bus boycott, that was like the main speech was like, listen, this is about to be real uncomfortable for everyone.
I mean, because it sounds cute. It sounds cute. But what did that entail? Walking to work?
That's right. Right. Walking to work.
Sharing cars.
Doing a lot of things that you don't want to do. And so we've seen it before. We've dealt with it before. And I hope everybody's ready.
I'm ready.